عاملين إيه؟ Okay. So we have ended to the pronunciation of letter D, and we're gonna complete it together. Okay. So are you ready to complete it?
Yes.
But please wake up, don't sleep, focus, please.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
And
Maybe in another hour.
focus to get a bonus. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the end of the video.
And in
Okay. I
headdress, headdress, something special. Silent D can also be
Okay.
found in some exceptions, some special words. You probably know the word Wednesday. Wednesday. This is a crazy word in English, but it's very common because you use it every Wednesday, every week, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We don't say Wednesday, we say Wednesday. Wednesday. There's a few silent letters in there. Wednesday. Wednesday. No D, no D sound. Wednesday, okay? Also, in family names, some family names. For example, grandma and grandpa and granddaughter and grandson, okay? Most people don't say grandson or granddaughter. In granddaughter, there are two D's. The first one is silent. Daughter, of course, we need D, daughter. But in grand there, we don't pronounce the D. We just say gran, gran. Same in grandpa and grandma. We don't say grandpa because it's too difficult. It's very hard to say that. So grandpa and grandma, grandson and granddaughter. Silent D all the time. And in the word Wednesday, Wednesday. Okay, try and remember those little exceptions. Okay. What about when we have words where there are two D letters together? Normally, when you see two D letters together, it's really easy. You just pronounce it as one D, D. So in words like middle and cuddle and add, you can see two letter Ds, two D letters, but we pronounce them as one D. Usually a strong D sound. Add, add. Address, address. Okay. Also middle and cuddle and fuddle and fiddle. Okay. But as usual in English, there are exceptions to this rule, okay? The exceptions here are words like midday, midday, okay? In the word midday, you've got two Ds, okay? Midday. And in headdress, headdress. Something special can happen here though. In the first word, midday, you probably noticed that that first D is a little bit too soft. We use something here called a glottal D. In this lesson, I'm not going to talk or teach you too much about what that is, but basically it means that the first D here is kind of half pronounced. We stop ourselves saying it. So we don't say midday, we say mid, and then we stop, and then day. Midday. We stop our throat. It's known as a glottal sound in English, a glottal stop, okay? Midday. Headdress. Headdress, okay? But it is also not wrong to pronounce both Ds, okay? Headdress or midday. Okay, so remember, those are exceptions. We'll have a look at that glottal stop sound in another lesson another time. Let's go on to try some tongue twisters with the letter D. Okay, let's try some tongue twisters now with this letter D and all of the different ways to pronounce it. Try this. Dan the dinosaur danced until he died of dizziness. Dan the dinosaur danced until he died of dizziness. A little bit slower. Dan the dinosaur danced until he died of dizziness. Dizziness is when you spin round too many times. Dan the dinosaur danced until he died of dizziness. Okay, practice that one as fast as you can.
Okay, who can practice it? Can you practice it?
Dan the dinosaur danced until he had sorry, until he
Died
dizziness.
of dizziness, yes. And by the way, this is the transcription of the words. This is
Yes.
the transcription of the words, and we used to practice it in the university. Do you remember this part of phonetics sections?
Yes. Yes.
We have, yes, we used to practice this part. So again, who can try it? Thank you, Mai. Who can try it again?
Okay, I can.
Dan. Yes, of course. Dan, the dinosaur, danced until he died of dizziness. Do you know the meaning of dizziness? من الدوخة يعني. Okay,
Mhm.
yes, Amani. Okay,
Dan,
you
the
like
dinosaur.
practicing, I mean, yes.
Dan the dinosaur danced until he died of dizziness.
Excellent. Okay, who else? Where is Hane? Mr. Muhammad, Noha, where are you? Let's give it a try. يلا يا حلوين. Another one. Hello? Another one. Who can try it faster? طب حد يكح طيب.
My love, Miss Rita.
يا بنتي خلاص.
Thank you. Love you too. والله فريدة. Love you too فريدة. Okay. فريدة, can you read it فريدة? Can you
فريدة
read
طلعت
it?
دي حبيبة.
حبيبة. Okay.
To pronounce both
I
D's,
let Habiba
okay?
read
Head
it. Okay.
to talk or teach you. Also, words like mid, too soft, and then day. Because when you
Yes.
open it up
Habiba.
and you see all
Can you read this, Habiba?
Hi.
Yes.
No.
Go ahead, Habiba. Try. Just
No.
try. يلا معايا يلا. Dan.
Then
The dinosaur
dinosaur
danced
danced
until he died.
and it
Until he died. Until
until
he died
he died
of dizziness.
of dizziness.
Excellent, Habiba. Love you so much. Excellent. I love you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Habiba, the youngest mentor in Egypt, إن شاء الله. أصغر كده مرشد جميل كده إن شاء الله يا حبيبة. Thank you so much. Okay.
all the different forms of this verb, you'll see that there are lots of different d sounds in there. Okay, so do, or does, or doesn't, or did, and didn't. Also doing, and done. Okay, this lesson is nearly done. Practice all of that verb. Do, did, doesn't, does, doing, done, and you'll be able to practice that strong d sound, okay?
يلا يا حبيبة, let's practice يا حبيبة. ها? Do.
طلعت تلعب.
طلعت؟ طب okay.
Try it. Do, does, doesn't, did, didn't, doing, done. Lots of different d sounds there. Okay, practice that one as many times as you need to. Okay, as a final bonus to this lesson, we're going to practice some really long words in English to improve your pronunciation of long words beginning with D. Okay, number one is deadliness. Deadliness. This is how deadly, how bad or deadly something can be, okay? A deadly animal, the deadliness. Deadliness. Number two is deceitfulness. Another long word. Deceitfulness. Number three, our final word today, decentralization. That's a really long one. Decentralization. Now, look this up in a dictionary and see if you can write, what is this, in the comments. Decentralization. Okay? Well done. One more thing. If you want to practice the d and t sounds, they can be tricky to hear the difference between these two sounds. So check out words like and ant. Okay, remember the d sound is the same as the t sound, but the d sound is made in your vocal cords. So look at and ant and practice them together. And ant, and ant. And ant. Okay? Well done. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today for this lesson. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did find this lesson helpful, make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my...
Okay, did you like this video?
Yes.
Did you find it useful?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you find any new piece of information today?
Yes, of course.
Like what? Can you give examples of the new thing you learned today from this video?
I know the difference between the beginning of the at the beginning of the word. It's hard and soft at the end. My
Yeah, a
first
little
one.
bit softer. Yes, at the end. What else? Did you learn anything new?
I think the thing that I found new is when U comes after D. We pronounce it as the J,
Yeah,
not
excellent. Yes, it's the same here.
uh,
This is
moving.
the first time I know it. I used to read it by luck
Mhm.
or
Yes, we
by
use
accident, but yes, this
as
is
the gradually,
yeah, gradually, yes.
education or gradually.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it's the same. It's new for me. And when it comes between two consonants too, when it comes between two consonants, it's silent, like in sandwich, like in handsome, like
Grandpa,
we.
grandma.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is an exception. يعني I found out in the dictionary before, so I found that grandpa, grandma.
Yeah, maybe the difference is the British accent and the American accent. Yes, maybe. But I like to pronounce to
It's
not to
not the
pronounce
British.
it.
I don't think it's the British and American. I think it's the speaking speed.
The speaking speed,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's not silent,
Yeah.
Mrs.
but it's
Firdaus,
like the same like the D
سامعة
at the
حاجة.
end of the end. It's
Yeah.
not silent, but we don't pronounce it when we are speaking.
But I have never heard, for example, handsome or grandpa. I have
No,
never heard.
it's not a silent letter, but it is
Maybe
it is,
reduced.
in connected speech. It's difficult to pronounce. So they
Yeah,
drop it
maybe.
just like they drop the and the D of the word and. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only because of connected speech, but not because it's
but
silent.
grandpa,
But for
no,
handsome, I think it is silent.
yeah. What about grandpa and grandma?
No, it's not silent. It's not silent.
No, it's silent, Mrs. Noha. Grandpa and grandma, D is not pronounced.
Okay, let's check it from the dictionary.
I searched it before.
Okay, we can, by the way, we can check it to be sure if it's silent or not, as he mentioned in the video. Okay, let's check together.
Which I
Right,
checked
we have.
before, but I found
Okay, no problem. Let's try it together. Yeah, grandma, Noha, by the way, grandma. But
You
in
see,
some accents, yeah, but here in some accents, it may be pronounced, but a little bit softer.
I have the dictionary of the Cambridge Advanced Learner, and the T is there. But as I said, it's
reduced. We call it reduced, you know, or yes, it is dropped in speaking. Yeah, it is dropped, or we call it reduced. Reduced. It's not silent, but it's not pronounced, by the way. Yes, and also
but
we have
grandfather. We pronounce the D with grandfather.
Grandfather. Okay, let's check it too.
Yes.
We are learning together. والله وده المكسب بقى ان احنا فعلا
but
بنتعلم.
it is
not existing here.
Both here. The first one, it's not there. The second one, the D is found there. Grandfather.
It is also dropped
In
during
British,
speaking.
Yeah.
it's found in British. It's found in British.
Okay. We can write a sentence. For example, I love my grandfather. And here, how do they pronounce it? I love my grandfather. And we're gonna see together how do they pronounce it, the sentence. They pronounce it in Arabic. Yeah, the D is pronounced, by the way. I love my grandfather. Yeah. So I agree with Noha. It is not silent, but it may be reduced or dropped in speaking or in faster pronunciation of some sentences or in a context. Thank you, Noha, for this adding. Thank you. Okay. So now it's we're gonna start our session for today using games in teaching. And as we have mentioned before, can you tell me why is it important to use games in teaching? Is it important to use games, or are games useful, or do they have any advantages when you use them when we use them in teaching?
It develops all the four skills of the language.
Okay, so it develops all the four language skills and maybe the 21st century skills. That's amazing, Noha.
Enthusiastic to learn.
Yeah, of course, make students enthusiastic to learn. They become more excited and more pleased to learn and have fun. Yeah. What else?
Easy to involve
Yeah,
all students.
Can share.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It involves all students in learning. They all work, they all learn, they all do the task. Okay. So let's share another video today about using games, and let's see it in another skill, which is speaking. Okay, using games and speaking, and let's see together, is it useful or not? Okay, so are you ready for a video?
Yes.
Okay,
We love videos.
Here are top speaking. Can you hear the sound? Okay.
In the morning.
So instead of Cinderella getting married to Prince Charming,
This is a teacher
here
from
are
Jordan.
4 speaking
She's
warm-ups,
Arabic,
activities or games that
but
gonna
she's
make your
amazing, by the way.
ESL classes a little bit more fun. I made sure that these 4 activities are so easy to do because I feel ya, dear follow teachers. Being a teacher takes up all of your time, so I'm here to save some of your precious time and at the same time help you have great classes. All of these games were tried and tested in many of my classes and students got really engaged. So let's dive in. The first activity is alternate ending. Pick some famous stories or tales like the story of Cinderella, Snow White, or any popular fiction. Write the titles on cards, or you can stick to one story for all, up to you, and ask the students to pick one. If you have a small class, then students better work individually, but if not, then divide them into pairs or groups. Then explain to them that they have to come up with an alternate ending to the story. This will require students to review the whole story, in English this time, and use their imagination to come up with a new and different ending to the story. So instead of Cinderella getting married to Prince Charming and living happily ever after, students need to expand their creative skills and imagine the same story, however, with an ending all their own. I remember a student told the class that Cinderella was actually a feminist and refused the prince's proposal. You will be amazed by how creative students can get. This is a funny activity and all you gotta do is just write some titles on cards. The second one is commercial time. Pick random.
So what is the name of the first game?
Alternative ending.
Yeah, alternate ending. Okay. How can we apply it in our classes? How can we apply it?
I'll write the name of the story and give them the idea of it or some information about it. Until then, we write their own end of the story.
Okay, which skills do this game develop? Which skills do it develop?
Critical thinking.
Does it develop? Yeah, maybe critical thinking. Yes, this is from the 21st century skills. What about the 4 language skills? Speaking, only speaking, only speaking.
Writing.
They will
Reading.
choose, alternate. Yeah, they will choose alternate ending after they read. And of course, they will write the ending. And after that, they can stand up and tell their friends. So it develops reading, writing, and speaking. And as Amani has just mentioned, it develops the 21st century skill, which is creating, of course, because they are creative when they think about different ending or yes, and also critical thinking because they think critically and brainstorm their ideas. Does it develop any other skill? Does it develop any other skills?
Well, if they are listening to the story, that will be listening, yeah.
Yeah, listening. What about analyzing and evaluating? Does it develop analyzing and evaluating when they think of the different ideas and they try to evaluate the story? What about analyzing, evaluating? Does it develop them?
Yeah, of course. Otherwise,
Yeah,
they
of
wouldn't be
course.
able to come up with a different ending.
Yeah, and maybe problem solving because the end of Cinderella's story, for example, she has a problem and they can think of the how to solve this problem and come to an alternate ending. Okay, so when we try to vary the games, of course, we are trying to use as much as skills as we can. We try to develop a lot of skills at a time, not only one skill, but a lot of skills together, okay? So now let's move to the second game and see how useful it is, okay?
From around the classroom or pre-choose them before going into the class. Stuff like pens, staples, purses, mugs, tea bags, lipsticks, literally any item will do the trick. Put them in a bag and ask each student to take an item without looking, and don't explain anything to them. Let them get curious. Tell the students that you're the owner of a big company that produces this particular product and you need to advertise it. What would you say? How would you describe it? What would you do to convince the consumers to buy it? Let them know about homophones, rhyme, catchy phrases, and slogans. This is a really good life skill activity and students have always enjoyed it. 3. Role plays.
So what is the name of the second game?
Commercial.
Yeah, commercial. How to write a commercial, how to advertise something, and how to write maybe rhyming slogans or logos for a company or for something, okay?
Play is a great way to prepare students to use English in real world. Play is a great way to prepare students to use English in real world scenarios. I'm pretty sure you know how this activity works. You give each pair of students a conversation topic and they have to come up with a dialogue. Give them enough time to discuss and prepare. I'm gonna share with you some fun everyday dialogues that I've been using with my students. The first one, the setting is a phone call between two friends and phoning a friend inquiring about a job position. The second one is at a store, a mother and a daughter, and they're shopping for a dress for a birthday party. This one is pretty good actually. The third one is more practical, an interviewer with an interviewee, and the topic is obviously a job interview. The fourth one is my favorite, and I feel shameful to say that, but I said it anyway. It's like two neighbors sipping coffee together in the morning and gossiping. The fifth one is so funny. A father and a son, or a mother and a daughter, whatever, and like one of the parents teaching math to their child. The sixth one is cheesy. A waiter and a customer, and the customer complaining about the food. The seventh one is also a favorite because you get the students to be in your shoes. So it's like basically a teacher and a student, and the student complaining about his or her mark. The last one is in a taxi between a driver and a passenger, and the topic is given directions. The last activity
So what is the third game?
Role playing.
Yes, role playing, and I think they like it. What about, let's go back again to the first game. Can we apply it with younger learners like grade 1, for example, to choose an alternate ending?
Yes.
How can we apply it with younger learners? And this is, I think, the benefit of applying the practice part, which we all learn together or benefit from each other and get experience from others. How can we apply it with younger learners, a game like this?
Yes, we can imitate or role play the story.
That's great, Hannah. Yes, what about drawing? Can we ask the learners to draw the end of the story?
Yes, instead of speaking about the end of the story.
Yeah, and so we can
new
apply.
end.
Sure. So we can apply or we can adapt any game according to the age and the level of our students. So I think they are all applicable, and we have all the power to apply it or to change it according to our learners. Okay.
2 words for 2 minutes. Let me explain. You'll distribute some cards that has 2 to 3 words maximum, like these ones. Ask the students to talk about it for 2 minutes non-stop, and I usually set my timer for them. I think it's challenging in terms of fluency, and I love it because it encourages the students to communicate the meaning rather than how many mistakes they make in grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. I believe fluency is important, and in this particular activity, students are not only practicing fluency, but also expressing their own ideas on different topics. If they're lower levels, give them some time to prepare, or they can do it at home and present it the next class. But with higher levels, allow a 2-minute preparation time, and they should do it on the same day. That's pretty it, dear teachers. I know you're awesome and you got a bunch of other activities, but I hope I added something fun, inspiring, and new. Thank you for your time, and I'm positive you're just great being a teacher.
Okay, so what is the name of the third game? The fourth one, sorry?
Two words for 2 minutes.
What was it? Don't see.
To talk for 2 minutes without stopping.
Yeah, using 2 words to talk about them and express their ideas. Okay. Did you find any new idea in this video?
The commercial.
Yeah, the commercial. What about our learners? Do we have, instead of commercials, what do we have in our curriculums? We have writing an email and writing a letter, so we can adapt it to writing emails or letters and ask our learners to read aloud their emails, or to talk with their friends together, to work in pairs and speak together, telling each other about their emails, or role playing, as Hannah has mentioned. Okay, so are you ready for another video?
Inshallah. There was a task for grade 4 about planning a party, and I love this task.
Yeah, great. And yes, great one when they make the cake, their birthday cakes, right, Noha, or something
yeah,
else.
and they do plan each other's parties. Actually, when someone has a birthday, they start inviting people and preparing who's going to make the cake, who's going to bring the decorations, and so on. So they really know how to do it. So, and how to plan things and put it into words.
Yes, wonderful. What about
easier?
Yes, what about fluency? How did they achieve fluency when they prepared for the party and expressed themselves?
They amaze me, really.
Yeah, wow.
See, really, I didn't expect this. The other day I was practicing with them. They have a question in their exam. They need to write 50 words about a certain topic. And I asked them, I said that after they write, they need to count the words. And if there is anything missing, or if the number is not enough, they can come up with other sentences in the same idea, about the same idea. And I really was amazed about how many sentences they came up with in the same idea, in the same topic, without getting out. So they are really great and very creative.
Yeah, the real hero Yeah, that's a great know how they are real heroes for a great warrior because the teacher is excellent. So the same they did, of course. And all the time, wallahi, learners are amazing us with their ideas, especially if we encourage them and motivate them all the time. The exceed our expectations and do everything wonderfully, of course. Okay, so are you ready for another video? Okay, let's share another one. And I really benefit wallahi, and I learn with you. Yani for me, I have a lot of new things and new ideas and new videos and new things we can learn together through these videos. Okay. To 5 minutes games. So let's have a short video. Okay. I like commercials, by the way.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily. I am a teacher from the United States, but for the last 4 years I have been in Spain teaching English to literally hundreds of students, from preschoolers to adults. I love what I do, and I'm here today to give you 5 different 5-minute games that you can throw into any one of your lessons. I love these games because they are so easily manipulated to work with lots of different group settings and lots of different ages. They're a great way to present or review vocabulary, and they're just fun in general, so that's why I love them. Let's get started. Alright, so my first game is called Vocab Race. You're going to split your class into 2 teams and have them in 2 single file lines facing you. You're going to have a stack of flashcards, and you're going to show the first 2 students the first flashcard. Whoever says it correctly gets a point for their team, and then they go to the back of the line and the next 2 students come up. I love this game because it's a really great way to review vocabulary and works really well with young elementary students. Alright, game number 2 is called Scout.
So what is the name? What is the name of the first game?
Vocab Race.
Yeah, Vocab Race. And how can we apply it in our classes?
2 groups of students
Yeah.
and tell them the word. They write it in the board and come at the end of the line after doing it.
Yes.
Or send it.
Okay. By the way, we can apply a game like this. We can first show the children a group of flashcards, maybe 4 flashcards, maybe 6 flashcards, or 10 flashcards. We can ask them to, of course, to listen to the teacher and repeat the words, the new words. And after repeating and rolling for several times, we can tell them that we're gonna play a game or have a race together by choosing 2 lines of children. We are going to put the vocabulary flashcards face down to the floor. يعني هنقلبهم على الأرض كده. And we are going to ask the first ones in each group to go and have 2 flashcards and try to guess what are they. If they say it right, they will get a point. If someone or one of them say it wrong, he will miss a point. And we're going to see which team will win at the end by the more points, of course. Okay. So game number 1 was Vocab Race. Okay. Let's see together what's the second game.
Categories. Give the students some categories or let them come up with the
Categories.
and give them a letter and 1 minute to come up with as many answers as possible. This game is a great thing to throw in the last 5 minutes of class. So it's always fun to share your answers.
فهمنا اللعبة التانية دي.
Last 5 minutes of class.
Categories.
Food, places, people, and give them a letter and 1 minute to come up with as many answers as possible. This game is a great thing to throw in the last 5 minutes of class. And the answers can get really funny, so it's always fun to share your answers. And that's categories.
The voice is getting low, Ms. Cardos.
From me, okay. What about this?
My next game is called Taboo. I love
Is
Taboo
it clear?
because it's a great conversation.
Your voice is clear, but the video's voice is a little bit low.
Yes, the video itself, yes. Okay, by the way, categories, it's like عارفين اللعبة بتاعت ولد بنت محافظة بلد أكلة عارفينها؟
أتوبيس كومبليت.
Yes, أتوبيس complete or complete. Yes. It's the same. We choose a letter and we ask the children to think of as much words which starts, for example, with letter B. Names of boys, girls, food, fruit, for example, vegetables, countries, and so on. The first team to fill in the gaps in the table will be the winner. It's called categories, to collect as much words as they relate to the category it belongs to. Okay, let's watch the third game.
Taboo
Okay,
cards.
by the way,
But basically what you're
this
going
is
to do is
Taboo.
have the students try to get the other students to guess whatever word is on their card. In real Taboo, you're not supposed to say the words under the target word, but I have found in my experience.
Okay, I'll choose another video because the video is not has a problem. Teach and learn English with games. I love this woman.
Want to get really motivated and have fun when you're learning English? Watch this video to find out how you can teach and learn English with games. Let's go.
Very clear. Yeah.
I'm Deirdre Nicholas from Palm Tree Teaching TV, your personal English language coach. I've created this second video about how to teach and learn games in English because so many of you enjoyed the last one that I did and asked for more. So here it is. Games and fun activities are a really important part of teaching and learning English. As a learner, you will be more motivated and excited to learn English if it's fun. And as a teacher, games will leave your students leaving your classroom wanting to come back for more. Do you want really engaged students? Then give them games as a way to learn. There are loads of reasons why games should be a part of your English, whether you're learning it or teaching it. They can help you to learn English faster, improve your English understanding, and help you to learn phrases and vocabulary much better and often in context too. Now, in my first video, I talked about how games can improve your learning of English, so be sure to watch that video with this one. In the classroom, you can use games as a warmer at the beginning of your lesson, of course, during the lesson to change pace, or if the students are not as engaged as they should be, you make sure that they're more engaged that way, and also at the end of the lesson as a consolidation, like a plenary of what you've just been teaching. And as a learner, of course, it's a really fun way of learning English with friends or with family. So today, I'm going to get straight into more games, showing you how to use these to increase the fun in your English lessons and in your English learning. So, number 1, Chalkboard Acronym. This is a great simple game for developing vocabulary mainly. Write a word vertically on the board and then have students come up one at a time to write a word starting with each letter of the vertical word. So for example, you could write a word like table, and then you would have words such as tall,